And welcome back, everybody, to the 2026 Blue Shoe TV podcast. We are in the middle of regionals weeks. We've had several regions being ran across the state tonight. Tonight is Thursday. There are regions running right now. So we are going to do our best to give you the most updated information. We're going to kind of speed through this 1A, 2A, 3A, the super regionals podcast. We'll start off by going into the auto qualifiers that we have so far as we're filming this. Then we'll go to the at-larges. We'll give our insight into what we think it'll take to get into this state meet that happens next week for all three classes, and just provide you a little bit of what it'll take for these last couple of regions that run the next couple of days. And we'll get right into it. Feel free to skip ahead to any parts to get to your class and focus on that. Starting off with the girls 1600, there have been three regions that have ran so far. Class 1A, Gabby Alt won with a 34. Lillian Catterall got second with a 540. Then there was Class 3 that was ran. Elizabeth Matthews took this one with a 522. Margaret Dulaney got second with a 528. That region is currently running right now. Then class 1A region 5 was ran. Kennedy Magamian won that region with a 509 over her teammate Annie Sewell with a 519. Now, Jake, as we know, there's only been three regions that have ran so far. What are the current at-large spots right now?
Yeah, like you said, it's a pretty thin list right now. Not many people have ran. The girls 1A 1600 list currently the top, like the next 10 after the auto qualifiers. Right now, I'm looking at the list 523, 528, 529, 558, 604, 606, 609, and then it goes all the way down to 620. So there's definitely a lot of spots to be made up there. And then also on the guys' side, it ranges from it's a little more closer, especially at the top, but it's 438, 441, 445, 446. There's a couple in the 447 to 455 range, and then it ends at 459. So that's where the list stands right now as information we currently have. Since there's regions being ran right as we were speaking, so it may not be fully up to date, but that's where we're at right now. Did you want me to make like projections on what the times are going to be like to
Yeah.
make it in?
So what do you think kind of the bubble times are going to be for the girls' side?
So generally at the class 1A level, it can vary depending on from year to year, but probably somewhere in the 550 to 555 range to make it for 1A girls. And then on the guys' side, probably one of these at-large spots, you'll probably need it in between a 450 to 455, kind of like, a minute, kind of in that same range as the girls.
Right. Yeah. Well, going off of what I have, I definitely have at least two people making it in from Region 2 into this, and I have four runners making it from Region 4. I don't think any runners will make it from Region 6 or 7 on the girls' side. Going into the boys' side, before we move on to the 800, the auto qualifiers, as we speak right now, Easton Borland won his region 441. Graham Conrad, 449, was second behind Borland. James Gurley just won tonight with a 432. Everett Snyder got second behind him with a 436. In Region 5, Bruce Hayden won with a 444 over LCA's Robert Black with a 446. I believe that in Region 2 of Class 1A, there will be two runners that make it in. And in Region 4, there will be one. Region 6, there will also be one. And then Region 7 will have no one. Now, going into the 800 quickly, we will go into the girls' side first. Your auto qualifiers so far are Lillian Ketterall with a 232. Gabby Alt got second behind her with a 236. In Region 5, it was Hadley Razor winning with a 219 and her teammate Annie Sewell with a 221. Obviously, Region 3 is being ran right now, so a little bit of obviously when you guys are watching this, it'll be a little bit up to date from this. But Jake, what do you see or what are the top 10 at large spots right now for the girls 800 in Class 1A?
Right now, the list, top of the list, we have 235, and then there's a couple in the mid 240s. There's 246, a handful of 246s, so 248, just 249s, and then it kind of, the list kind of ends at 255. Now, on the, did you want me to go on the boys' side or just?
No, we can just stay on the girls' side. What do you think? Do you think it'll take, to make this list? Obviously, we still have 4 regions or 5 regions to run on this girls' side. What do you think that time or the kind of that bubble time is going to be?
Probably so I think the majority of the runners are still to be ran. I think it'll be in the 235 to like 240 range. I know that's a large range, but I'd probably that top time, like 235, probably somewhere near that would make it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think in Region 2 that there'll be 2 people that make it in. Region 4 there'll be 4 people that make it in. Region 7 there'll be 2. I do not think Region 6 will get anyone in, and then obviously Region 3 will kind of be up to grabs to knock off any of those other runners. But I think that there's probably going to be somewhere around 8 spots up for grab, and I think those top 2 that are on the list right now are currently safe. And I agree with you. I think right around 240 is kind of that cutoff time. Now going into the 800 on the boys' side, the auto qualifiers, we only have 4 so far as we speak right now. Easton Borland with a 2 flat coming back after the 1600. Andrew Bennett with 206. And then in Region 5, Bruce Hayden knocked off Kyle Stickle in his redemption run after Indoor State. He went 206. Stickle went 208. Just starting it off, I know that there's not a lot of information we have so far, so you're going to be a lot of movement on this at-large spots. Jake, tell me what the at-large map looks currently as we speak, and kind of give me some insight onto what you think that bubble time is going to be for this boys 800.
Right now, looking at the list, we've got 209. There's a handful of 210s, handful of 211s. There's 213, handful of 214s, and the list ends at 216. I don't think anybody from that list will make it. Maybe the 209 sneaks in, but there's definitely a lot to be ran still. Generally, I would say probably if you run like 206 or 207, it can depend. I don't know if like some of these will go tactical in some of the other regions, but probably in the 207, 208 range, like 206, 208, somewhere in that range will probably be the final spot.
Right. Yeah. You would think, Bruce Hayden versus Kyle Stickle, obviously those are the top 2 in Indoor State. You would just thought their region would have been really fast. So hopefully a lot of the runners that got third behind them don't kind of get screwed out of an at-large spot. But yes, I agree. I think it's going to be very similar to the girls 800. I think that there's 8 spots up for grabs. I think 3 of those spots will come from Region 2. 4 of those spots will come from Region 4. And then probably 1 or 2 spots of a combination from Region 3 and Region 6. Again, I don't think Region 7 will have any at-large bids this year. Going now into the final event that we are going to be covering for the Class 1A, we are going to go into the girls 3200, starting off with the at-large bids or the overall bids from Region 1. Abby Rogers went 1341 to win her region. Second was 1447, and then in Region 5 was Kennedy Magamian. She went 1116. Molly Chambers 1123. Obviously, not a lot of information. I think that there's still 9 spots up for grabs between Region 2 and Region 4. Jake, what does the current at-large map look like, and what do you think it will take to get in?
Yeah, so the girls 3200 at large. If you ran, you're in right now. There's currently 6 people on the at large spot, so it ranges from 1133 to 1859. So it really is if you ran, you're in as of right now. But probably after all the regions, when it's all said and done, it'll probably be somewhere. If you're probably under 13, if you're in, it'll probably take something in that time range, like that 13 flat ish.
Right. Yeah. Well, switching over to our last talking point for the Class 1A state preview is we're going to talk about the 3200. Obviously, Jaden Perry, he won his region with 1043. Second place was Jude Finch with the 1048. And then the other region that's ran is Region 5. Robert Black of LCA won with a 1035, and second place was 1039. Jake, I think that there's less spots up for grab than all the other events that we've talked about so far. What do you kind of think that bubble time is? I think that there's probably going to be 3 spots from Region 4, and then maybe 1 or 2 from Region 3 and 2. But I don't think the 3,200 on the boys' side is looking that deep this year. So, kind of give me your insight in what the current at-large map looks like so far.
Yeah, the top of the list we have times from 10. We have 10:41, 10:49, 10:52, 10:54. Then there's kind of a mini gap: 11:20, 11:23, 11:26, 11:33, 11:37, then 11:40. So, like you said, it's a little more thin this year on the 3,200 from that side. So, assuming there's 5 or 6 more spots to go, probably under 11 you're in is a good rule of thumb, I would say.
Right. Yeah. Well, as we wrapped up, hopefully you guys enjoyed that 1A kind of preview. We are going to transition straight into the 2A preview and kind of what is going on right now in the 2A world. Similar to 1A, there's only been a couple of regions that have ran. There's been 3 regions that have ran so far. So we'll give you a little bit more insight than we did on 1A. But starting off with Region 1 and the girls 1600, Jaden Koch won with a 5:05, defeating Dreamweiler Macy Moore 5:09. And then in Region 6, Piper Griffith won with a 5:35 over Rebecca Flotter with a 5:56. Kira Roberts won her Region 7, with a 5:44, and Gracie Roberts was just behind her in a 5:45. Jake, what does the current region map look like? And on this one, I'll kind of give you my bubble time, and we can see if ours align or not.
Yeah, so right now it's very large range. There's times from 5:37 to 6:19. Right now, 5:37, 5:46, 6:05, 6:07, 6:09, 6:15, and there's a couple of 6:16s and then a 6:19. So obviously, very wide range right now. Probably to make it in, I would say most of that list probably won't make it. I would say somewhere in that 550 to 6 flat range, probably around 555. You're probably in.
Right. I completely agree. That's what I've written down. I think if you just got to break 6 and you're in the meet, currently 609 is the third. So I'd say there's probably about 8 spots up for grab. Just basically you got to break 6 and you're probably in the meet or be right around that kind of range. A lot of these at-large bids from Class 2A will come from that dominant region of Lexcath, Covcath, and Bourbon County. So that's kind of why you're going to see a lot of our picks. They're going to be having a lot of at-large bids still to come because of that region is so dominant in 2A. Now going into the boys 1600 in Class 2A, 3 regions have ran. Region 1, Tristan Coy won with a big PR of 425, and then second place was 433. And then going to Region 6, Landon Hammer won the 442. Second place was 452. Lennon Smith won Region 7 with a 445, and second place was 458. I think that there's going to be a lot of movement in this at-large bid. Jake, you can kind of go over it a little bit, but I definitely think that, I think the number 1 spot right now is 450. So I think that there's a lot of movement that can happen.
Yeah, like you said, as of the information we have right now, the number 1 spot is a 450. I don't think anybody from the list is going to make it. There's times from 450 to 528 in the next 10 right now. Obviously, that's off only 2 regions ran. I don't think anybody from that list is going to make it. You probably need to run somewhere like in the 445 to 450 range. I think that 450 could be kind of the bubble. Like that range will be the, in or out.
Yes, I completely agree. I definitely think that 450 is kind of going to be like what decides it. Maybe someone that may sneak in with a little like a 454 or something like that. But definitely, you're gonna have to break 5. There's no way that anyone over 5 minutes is going to be running at the 2A state meet, in my opinion. But we'll obviously see how it plays out, see how the weather is at some of those meets. Now going into the girls 800, 3 regions have ran, like we said. Jaden Koch came back from her 1600 title and came back in one with a 218 in the 800. Macy Moore again was second and 223, I reckon. Region 6, Sydney Mertz won that one with a 231, second place. was Piper Griffith with a 2:33. Third place, Lauren Lewis won, or first place in Region 7, Lauren Lewis won with a 2:33. And then her second place finisher in that region was Riley with a 2:34. Jake, again, there's going to be lots of shakeup in this. 2:28 is currently second. I think that's kind of going to be our bubble time. But what does the map look like right now?
Yeah, like you said, we're off 2 regions, so not most of the list probably won't make it. Kind of looking at it briefly, I would say probably you need to be near a 2:30s, probably like 2:32 to 2:35, somewhere in there. That's kind of where it'll end off, I think.
Right. Yes. Well, going into the the boys side of things, I think obviously that 2:30 range is going to be key for Class 2A girls side. Boys side, the winner of Region 1 was Emilio Gomez with a 2:02. His brother got second with a 2:03. Sawyer Bonzo won with a 2:05 in Region 6, and Wyatt Turner was second with a 2:08. Lennon Smith, after winning the 1600, won with a 1:58, and second place in that meet was 2:07. Yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of movement. I think it's going to be basically copy and paste from the girls, or from the girls side of things. There's going to be about 8 or 9 people that can get in. Jake, what do you think is going to be that bubble time, and what does it look like so far?
Yeah, right now top time's 2:04 on the at-large list, and the 10th spot's 2:20. So probably all except that two. I think that 2:04 is in. I think everything after that's probably not going to make it, and you probably need around 2:05 to 2:06 depending on the meets.
Right. I mean, I see that. I also can see a way where the 2:07 gets in. I'm pretty sure that's currently second.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a chance, especially if things go down in the Lexcath region, if like Asher Fettig decides to take it tactical a little bit. I think that they could see a slower times get in just because of racing like that. But we'll go into the last event for 2A, the 3,200. Starting off with the girls' side, Macy Moore came back in Region 1 and won with 11:32. Lauren Mays got second with an 11:59. Then you go to Region 6. The weaning time was 11:52. Second place was 12:54. Then going into Region 7, Gracie Roberts won with a 12:39. And I'm pretty sure that's her sister that got second with a 13:17. I think that you just got to be sub 12:30, to be honest, to make this. Obviously, I don't know if a lot of these people are going to make it, but Jake, kind of tell me what the bubble time is going to look like in your opinion, and what that ranking is currently looked at.
Yeah, so the current at-large list does not have 10 people on the girls' side yet, so it's hard to forecast like the current standings, at least on the girls' side. But right now, probably, like you said, I think it'll probably be a little bit slower than that. Probably like 12:50 is in that 12:45 12:50 range. You're probably in, just based off of rough estimates.
Right. Yeah. Well, going into the last 2A coverage event, it will be the boys 3,200. Tristan Coy came back and won again. He won with a 9:53, kind of solo, a little bit, but Thomas Davis was right behind him with a 10:01. Then going down to Region 6, Landon Hammer won, came back and doubled again, 10:35. Second place was a 10:45. And then Lennon Smith, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Landon Hammer won Region 6 with a 10:35. Lennon Smith won Region 7 with a 10:20. And second place in Region 7 was an 11:11. Like Jake said in the past, for the girls 3,200, not a lot of people have ran the 3,200 so far. And currently, I think that to break 11, it's sixth place on the current at-large bid. I would say that that's kind of going to be what the at-large is. And the reason why it's a little bit slower, I think that there might be a little bit of an opportunity in the 1,600 and the 800 this year in Class 2A that a lot of people might be dodging or just coming off of several events before running the 3,200 on the boys' side.
Yeah, like you said, there's times from 10:24 to 11:38, so there's definitely a lot of movement to be made. Probably, yeah, I would say that 10:45 to 10:55 range will probably be the next time to make it in, or final time to make it in.
Right. Yeah. Well, that concludes the 2A coverage. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys were interested in that section, now we'll go into the Class 3A section where we would cover the 1600, 800, and 3200 girls and boys for both of those. Starting off with the girls, 1600. There have been a lot of regions that have ran. So this will be our most effective predictions, most up to date predictions. Starting off with Region 1. Mallory Rains won with a 542. Second place was Claire Ashby with a 543. Region 2, Charlotte Johnson won with a 512. And second place was a 516. Recently, just ran tonight, Celia Modelin, hopefully I said that right, was 511. And Savannah Mooney was a 512. Region 4, Lucy Gaunt won with a 507. Abby Jones was second place with a 517. And then Region 5 was Nora Barker. She won with a 507 as well. Avery Van Lanningham, your indoor 800 state champion for Class 3A, got second in a 509. And then in Region 6, our first region that ran last week was Addie Moore. She won with a 506. And second place was also Drew Myler, Suzanne Eastep in a 515. I think it's kind of concluded. I think that just looking at what happened after Region 3 ran, that it moved the last time to get in as 529. I don't see a way that anyone qualifies in Region 7, but Jake, do you see anything different, or kind of who are those top entries off of the 1600?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and read the top 10 since it's mostly been ran. 3A is the only like complete set of meets that have been ran for the most part. Still, there's one going on right now, and then there's one I think this weekend. Right now we have 510, 519, 521, 522, 522, 523, 524, and 529, and then there's a couple 530s. Like you said, there's not much to be more ran. I think that 529 is probably in, but
It is. Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah. Um, that's probably where it's going to get cut off is how I see it.
Right. Region 7's not as, significant on the girls' side, I don't think. So, I mean, it's not to say anyone's not going to go out there and PR, but I think that last spot is kind of like stuck in stone where it is currently as we speak right now. Now going to the boys' side, Kobe Yates won his region 1 with a 428. Asher Albee was second in a 440. Justin Duran won Region 2 with a 434, and Jake Overseen was second in a 437. Region 3, Nick Sanders just recently ran 416 and kind of a solo-ish effort over his teammate Nolan Kreider with a 428. That region moved the bubble time to 442. And Region 4, Aiden Taylor won with a 414 over Drew Kuhn, 422. Paul obviously won his region 410 over a really good race by Grant Holbrook, 416. Xavier won Region 6 with 414. Van Weimer got second, his teammate 414 as well. And then obviously Region 7 is yet to have ran, but there's a lot of potential get-ins for the region meet from that region that could get in. There are 4 people currently that are entered that are not within the top 2 that can get into that at-large bid that are entered under the final time that's in right now. But yeah, Jake, what do you kind of think, and what's it looking like right now?
Yeah, like you said. So looking at the top 10, we have Ethan Mann on the at-large list with the 416. Then we have a 428, a 437, 439, 440, 440, 442. And then there's a couple 442s, 443. That is before the 3A Region 3 runs. So any of those are not in there yet. So it's probably the last little bit that I just named there probably knocked off. But probably to make it in, I would say probably 440-ish. It's gonna be the difference. So there's a 440.6 and a 440.9. I think kind of that could be the potential difference maker. But I think if you're under 440, you're probably in a good spot, I would say.
Right. Yeah. I think that only two of those four that I mentioned from Region 7 will make it in. I think that Wesley Buck is currently going to be the last one in. What is his time? I think it's like 440.
440.64.
Yeah. I think he'll be the last one in, but like you said, there's a lot of decimals that are going to be included there. Now going into the girls 800, Madeline Alt won with a 223. Eliza Klein won with a 220, or got second with a 225. Ali Duran won Region 2 with a 224, and second place was a 225 as well. Region 3, Savannah Mooney just won recently with a 222. Maddie Price got second with a 226. There were 0 at-large changes because of that region, so all the at-larges that we're going to list are up to date and the same. On Region 4, the winner was Mabel George in the 211, defeating Maura Ferguson, who got second in 220. Avery Van Laningham won her Region 5, with a 217, and second place behind her was a 220. Region 6, Suzanne Estep won with a 218 over Kylie Tyson in a 223. I don't think there's any super significant entries in Region 7 that can kind of scare that time. But what does that current map look like? What's the last time in right now?
So looking at the 800 list right now, the top time is Nora Barker with a 220. You have Millie Huang right behind her with the 221. Then Diana Nava has a 221 as well. So those are both all guaranteed ends. And then there's 221, 222, 224, 225, another 225, a 226, and then 227. So I would say for the most part, this list is set. Barring I haven't looked at 3A Region 3 yet. So maybe there was maybe a spot or two. But other than that list is based. Okay. So yeah, this list is basically complete. Probably 225 or 226 is likely in.
Right. Yeah. Well, going to the boys' side, Owen Preachell has bounced back after, kind of having a little bit of a disappointing indoor season. He's came back and has ran really well this outdoor season. He won his region over Asher Alvey with a 157. Alvey was in 158. Then the Region 2 winner was 159. Justin Duran got second with a 2 flat. Just recently, Nehemia Kaiser won over Nick Sanders with a 153. Nick also went 153. Then in Region 4, Sullivan Yaden won with a 156 over his teammate Jake Hagan, who also went 156. And in Region 5, Paul, it seems like he's going to be tripling at state at the very least. He won his region with 154 over a great meet by Grant Holbrook. We'll talk about him a lot, I'm sure, in the state meet podcast, as he had a great meet, but he got second with a 155. Xavier won his Region 6 with a 155 as well. Van Weimer, his teammate, was right behind him with a 155. And then, similar to the girls' side, I don't know, this kind of this bubble time is a little bit faster than all the other ones, like strategically wise, it's a little bit harder to accomplish. So I don't know if anyone's going to scare that, but it moved Region 3. It moved the last time to get in for 201.87. So that information, Jake, kind of who's the last person in, assuming no one, PRs out of their mind at Region 7.
Yeah, so looking at the list, we have Drew Karskadon, top of the list, 156.02. His teammate Nicholas Kopp right behind him, 156.61. Then we have 158, a 2 flat, 201.2, 201.6, 201.8, 7, 201.88. There's a 202.09 and a 202.63. So probably, unfortunately, I think it's going to get cut off at the 201.87 or 201.88 mark. I think potentially the 201.88 might miss out.
Yeah, I think I looked at it correctly. I think that based off Region 3, it was 201.87 was the time. I think 201.88 just had missed out based off of like the live results that it ran. So yeah, obviously, unless someone gets in from Region 7 that we're not expecting, that 0.001 of a decimal is going to be the difference between someone running at state, someone not running at state. Just shows you kind of how important it is, for people to kind of finish through the line and stuff like that. Is region meets, it's all about those at-large spots and all about the time, not about placement after the top two. Now going into the final events of the entire podcast, final events of 3A, we'll be going over the 3,200. Starting on the girls' side, Class 3A, Region 1, Haley Wolf won with a 12:45. Sarah Kate Key was second with a 13:03. Region 2, Charlotte Johnson won with a 11:14 after winning the 1,600. And then her second place in that region was 11:24. Celia just won recently with an 11:29 over her teammate Bailey Montgomery with 11:30. I think there was not that many people that ran, so there's no changes to the at-large pool from that meet because there's just not that many that ran it. Elle Cargold won her region, Region 4, with a 10:49. Caitlin Perkins from Assumption was 11:14, second place in that region. In Region 5, Stella Carpenter, 11:30. Claire Higgins, 11:33. Addie Moore won Region 6 with 11:11. And Suzanne Estep, second place after the triple, 11:19. Jake, what is the current at-large pool? I personally think it's pretty set in stone. I don't think anyone's going to get in, especially because Region 3 didn't have anyone get in. But what do you see? What do you see the pool outlook right now?
Yeah, so you said there's no there's no more additions to the at-large.
Yeah, I didn't see anything from the live results unless it glitched, but there's nothing that got in.
Okay, so probably around 11:45 ish. The list right now. Okay, so there's a couple of 11:23s. There's an 11:24, 11:28, 11:35, 11:42, 11:43, 11:44, and 11:47 and 11:57. So I think probably where you'll see difference being made is probably around the 11:44.2 mark. And then there was an 11:43.98. I think probably around right there, unless something was just ran. Probably, yeah. Even the 11:47 is probably in as well. So I think there's really not much movement there.
Right, yeah. Even if there is movement, it's probably one or two spots. It's not going to be anything dramatic that causes, tons of people to fall out just with there being one region left. But going lastly into the boys 3,200, Kobe Yates was your champion with a 9:38. Noah Gray was with a 9:52. Justin Duran won his region with a 9:46. Mason Durham, 9:48. Currently have no idea what happened in Region 3, but I'm sure that
Henry Kaiser won with a 9:39, outleaning his teammate Brady Filipazzo by 0.07 seconds.
Okay. Is there any? All right. Yeah, I'll let you talk about the at-large spots about a change from that. But Aiden Taylor won Region 4 with a 9:14. Christian Stewart with a huge performance coming in a 9:16. Paul Van Lanningham, third event of the day, 9:19. And second place behind him was Ethan Mann in 9:38. Xavier won over his teammate again with a 9:47. Van went 9:48. And then in Region 7, I think that, I don't know if there's going to be anything that changes. I'll let you kind of go over the list, but I could see that Charles Klein could be one of the last people in or the first one out.
Yeah, I would say most of the list is safe right now. We have 9:48, 9:54, 9:55, 9:58, 9:58 again. There's also 9:53 I had out of order for some reason. That was the third place at Region 1. And then 10:01, 10:05, 10:08, and then 10:10. Now, in 3A Region 3 just now, we had third place Matthew Frick with a 9:42, as well as fourth place Nolan Kreider with a 10:05. So those will both be in the at-large spots. So I believe that leaves the 10:08. I think the 10:08's out. So I think it's either the last one in or the last one out. So probably 10:05. It's looking to be a 10:05, like 10:05 high, or a 10:08.48 by Charles Klein.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It just kind of depends on what happens in Region 7. I don't think anyone gets in on that side, but you never know. That region has tended to have at least one or two kind of get in just, at the last second because it's a very competitive race for the championship. But obviously, we know that there's lots of regions going on right now. We just wanted to get on here and give you the most up-to-date information about your at-large bids, as everyone's trying to go through MileSplit right now and check. So we're going to give you guys the most up-to-date, what we think gets in, what we think don't gets in. So thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck to anyone that hasn't ran. And we'll see you guys at the state podcast. Thank you.